Coming up, an American Top 20 Extra by Fleetwood Mac, a supergroup with a member who learned to play on a Mickey Mouse guitar.
Casey's Coast to Coast, American Top 40.
For Casey Kasem, I'm Charlie Van Dyke, and we're on our way to the #1 song in the USA. Now, we're up to the solo hit by the singer who says he wasn't the first star in his family. He's 37-year-old Lindsey Buckingham, who became a star as a member of the supergroup Fleetwood Mac. But Lindsey says he wasn't the first member of his family to appear in the world spotlight. It was his older brother, Greg Buckingham, who was a competitive swimmer. In 1966 and 1967, Greg held world records in swimming. And in 1968, he competed for the USA in the Olympic Games in Mexico. In the 200-meter individual medley, Greg Buckingham won a silver medal with a time of 2 minutes and 13 seconds. The gold medal went to fellow American Charles Hickox, who beat Greg by 1 second. Greg's musical brother, Lindsey Buckingham, says, "All through my early years, competitive swimming was a great part of my consciousness, and I think that was very beneficial in carrying over to music, in which you really have to fight to survive, and you have to have discipline." End of quote. And now, here is the disciplined younger brother of 1968 Olympic swimming silver medalist Greg Buckingham. At number 31, Lindsey Buckingham. Go insane.
American Top 40.
On American Top 40, I'm Charlie Van Dyke for Casey Kasem. Now, the story of how pop music history was made by accident when a famous group went shopping for a new studio. It happened in the early 1970s in Los Angeles. The members of this successful English rock group were in town looking for a new studio to record their next album. They were checking out a place called Sound City, and an engineer there put on a tape to demonstrate the studio's technical qualities. It was an album by an unknown American male-female duo. Here's what he played.
And if you go forward, I'll meet you there. And if you climb up through the cold, freezing air.
That's a piece of the song called Frozen Love by a duo called Buckingham Nicks. Well, when the English band shopping for a studio, Fleetwood Mac, heard the tape, they forgot all about searching for a studio. They asked the duo, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, to join the act. And the rest is rock history. First, the smash album called Fleetwood Mac. Then the album that followed became the #1 album of 1977. Sold 12 million copies and spent 31 weeks at #1. The album, Rumors. In the 1980s, the members of Fleetwood Mac have not only had more hit albums as a group, but have made successful solo albums. Now, they've regrouped for a new album, Tango in the Night. Here are Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Christine McVie, Lindsey Buckingham, and Stevie Nicks. Fleetwood Mac at number 18 with Big Love.
American Top 40.
These are Billboard Magazine's 40 biggest. At number 23 is the current hit by Fleetwood Mac. And last year, when guitarist Lindsey Buckingham left the group, 2 new guitarists joined, Billy Burnett and Rick Vito. How tough was it to fill the shoes of Lindsey Buckingham? Well, Rick Vito told writer Jeff Silberman that he had to learn a lot for the band's concert tour. Quote, "Every morning I got up at 7 or 8 and spent 3 hours in the garage listening to their records. There's a tremendous amount of listening you have to do just to catch the basic tunes. The second stage was to learn the specific guitar licks. And the third was to embellish those licks and take it a step further." End of quote. That's Rick Vito on the work he had to do after joining Fleetwood Mac. Their current hit climbed 6 notches to number 23. Everywhere.
This is our weekly countdown of the hottest hits in the land. Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 Extra by Fleetwood Mac, a supergroup with a member who learned to play on a Mickey Mouse guitar. Lindsey Buckingham grew up in an affluent suburb of Atherton, California, just south of San Francisco. He was the third of 3 boys in his family, and being the youngest, he was deeply influenced by his older brothers. Lindsey's brother Greg was a champion Olympic swimmer, and thanks to Greg, Lindsey became a member of his school swimming team and a star water polo player. But it was his brother Jeff who really influenced Lindsey. Jeff loved music. He had hundreds of albums, and Lindsey listened to every single one of them. He especially loved the song Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis Presley, and he taught himself to play the song on a small plastic guitar with a picture of Mickey Mouse on it. Eventually, Lindsey Buckingham learned to play more songs on his Mickey Mouse guitar, and so his parents bought him a $35 Harmony brand guitar. and Lindsey started learning one song after another, which led to a life in music as a member of Fleetwood Mac. With an extra on American Top 20, here's Fleetwood Mac with their hit from 1998, Landslide.
This is for you, Daddy.